Hello RVers. So you're in your bus and your dryer or your washing machine is no longer working. How do you get a stackable washer and dryer out of your RV? This is the RV MD and welcome to my channel. So here is the washer and dryer setup. In my particular case, I have a dryer where the heating element has failed or one of the many sensors. And the only way to get access to these pieces of equipment is the following. First thing you got to do is you have to remove the two beauty doors that surround the washer and dryer. So you got screws over here. You have a rod up there that has to be removed. You have feet down here that have to be removed. And once all that is accomplished, you have to go outside and to where the dryer vent is, take off the exterior panel, which is typically held on with silicone rubber, so you'll need a razor blade. And there are 4 screws that have to be unscrewed, and you pull that out and the dryer vent is attached to that. So you take the dryer vent off and then you have access to removing this washer and dryer. So how do you do that? Well, once everything is released, you want to grab the washing machine by the gasket and pull up and gently pull out. While you're pulling out the washer and dryer stack, be sure to have some sort of support that is the same height as the washing machine water basket, because that is just plastic and this stack is going to want to tilt forward as you pull it out of its position. Okay, once you get it out to this position, which you can clearly see, it's no longer within its housing. You want to remove these plates, which are on both sides with a Phillips head, and remove those. Otherwise, you will not be able to gain access to one or both of the machines. Here, of course, is the outside piece that comes off of there. And it's just held on with silicone rubber. And up here, this is held on by 4 screws, 3 of which I've already removed. Under that, you can see the dryer vent, which I've already disconnected. At this point, you can rotate the dryer as it sits on top of the wash machine. And of course, you'll need to unplug it, which you can reach around where the head is. There's a panel there that gives you access to the water valves for the wash machine, as well as the dryer plug for the dryer. And the washing machine plug, which is kind of hidden behind that hose. Okay, nowadays, there's no longer flat head and Phillips heads. There are these things, 6-star sockets that will go into the back of the dryer to gain access to the pump motor, as well as the heating element. So behind here is not the pump motor, but the blower motor. And here is the access to the heating element. Now, this dryer is a 240 volt dryer. A lot of them are 110, but in this particular Newmar model, it is a 220. Okay, as you can see, I've taken that panel off and I've taken out the heating element. This is your blower motor. There is the vent hose or tunnel that hooks up to here. And I have surmised that this sensor here is not functional because when you do an ohms test or continuity test, it's showing that it's an open circuit. So I'm going to show that to you in a second here. Hold on. Okay, so how did I know that my heating element was bad? Well, it's not really the heating element that's bad, but it's this sensor right here. And I have literally looked everywhere to try to replace this sensor, but I cannot find it. So how do I know it's bad? Well, when I hook up my trusty ohm meter, you can see it's on ohms, 200. I take my red and black lead. I go from here to there, and I get nothing. Nothing. See where I have that? Nothing. So this sensor is no longer functioning. It has to function to make a complete loop to activate the heating element. I have ascertained that the heating element is fine because when I go in there and touch the red and the black wire, I have continuity. Of course, the electricity is off. Be sure to turn the breaker off on this when you're working on it. And with my particular coach, that is right up here, inside here, where it says dryer. It's a double pole, 30 amps, 240 volts. Anyhow, getting back to the task at hand, I'm going to remove this heating element merely by unplugging these. And over here is the pigtail, which I will unplug, and I'll be plugging in the new heating element. Here's the new heating element. So you can see when I put the plugs here, I have continuity. This one seems to be in good shape. Okay, I have the new heating element installed with our 3 funny 6-point screws. I have plugged in the pigtail. There is, although you can't see it, a clip, a wire clip to keep it snug up against here. Back there you can see another sensor way up on the wall. Again, here is your blower motor. It should spin freely. Hopefully that's a good picture for you all. Now I'm going to put the back cover on this. I'm going to plug it in and test it. Okay folks, I have plugged it in. I've turned the breaker back on. It appears to be working. It sounds a little funny, but it's not actually in its housing yet and secured to the washing machine on both sides and inside. Notice I still have the support that's supporting the stack. Don't forget to put on the side pieces on both sides. Prepare the dryer vent for when you push this back in. You don't forget to connect the other end of the vent hose. Be sure to plug it in. The heating element came with this, and believe it or not folks, I got this from Walmart. I always document everything I do, which you should do as well for the next owner. And I'm going to go outside and connect the vent, plug this baby in, and I will show you the final product. Okay folks, I have put on the vent hose, screwed it in place, snapped on the cover, and I'm getting ready to silicone the cap on to give it a watertight seal. And there you go, folks. Doors are on. That is secure. I have yet to push this down in place, but I will. So don't forget that. So folks, you may wonder why my dryer failed. Sometime during dry storage, a wasp built a mud nest around the blower fan, which froze it up. So when I turned on the dryer, the blower fan failed to blow, the hot air and the heating element sensor blew. Moral of the story is if you're going to be storing your RV, be sure to put a piece of tape around the vent opening to make sure that little critters don't get in. Anyhow, happy RVing and more to come. Thank you for watching.